Olivia, you are a working reporter in Washington every day, so you see some of the hate mail, some of the threats that reporters get. Did you interpret CNN statement saying this video encourages violence? Do you agree with that this video actually encourages violence?
Well, I don't know if that was certainly Donald Trump's intention, but it doesn't matter, right? What matters is what the effect is. And I think there's certainly a chance that someone could look at that tweet like they saw his statements during the campaign and say, oh, well, this is what the president wants us to do, and we have to be concerned about that. But I think, this has happened a number of times where it goes from Reddit to one of Donald Trump's aides and then to Donald Trump's Twitter account.
Can you tell us about that? For all viewers who don't know what Reddit is, tell us about that.
Well, I don't recommend it, but Reddit is, a message board where people can talk and post all sorts of things, and it's sort of very freewheeling. And Donald Trump is very popular on Reddit during the campaign. There were all sorts of different threads where he was popular on Reddit, and this happened repeatedly, where something might go from, say, InfoWars to Reddit, and then go to one of presumably Donald Trump's aides who talks to him, and then it went to Donald Trump's Twitter account. It's just not something we're used to seeing come from the President of the United States, but it is something that we've seen repeatedly throughout Donald Trump's young political career.
Right. Ben Ferguson, I mentioned he's on the phone with us, a conservative talk show host and CNN commentator. So Ben, I'm curious, for your perspective, do you have a message for the president about sharing a video like this?
Look, I think we got to put it in perspective. This has been going around on Twitter. I think when I saw it, I initially laughed at it because I thought it was actually one of the more humorous moments of the real fighting back and forth that the president has had with the media. I don't think it incites violence. I think people are stretching when they imply that. Wrestling is fake. Everybody knows that wrestling is fake. This was something that you just need to have just an ounce of humor and just kind of look at this and say, this may actually be a little bit of a funny moment for them.
You could look at it and say it's clever. You can say wrestling's fake. Security threats are real. And Ben, you suffer from this just like the rest of us do. You get hate mail that sometimes threatens your life. And that's what's happening to folks at CNN right now. I've seen some of the trash that's come into people's inboxes. How can we look at this video and not think that it's actually causing even more of those threats, more of that hate to fester out there?
Look, I think you obviously have reached a intense moment between the president and the media where he feels like there are people out there in the media that their entire day is surrounded by trying to go after the president and turning stories into bigger news than it maybe really is. And that's one of the things that we saw this last week that he's trying to capitalize on. He's trying to make it abundantly clear that there are people in the media who have made it their personal mission and their job to destroy this president. And when you look at something like that he just tweeted out and we try to turn this into a bigger story as if he's inciting violence, which is just not the reality.
Who's turning it into a bigger story, Ben? This is what the President of the United States decided to post today. He could have posted about health care. He could have responded to citizens' concerns about ISIS.
That you're playing into the exact point that I'm making here. And the point that I'm making is I think everyone's trying to make this into too big of a deal, over-exaggerate this. It took me 3 seconds to retweet that tweet earlier saying we were going to talk about this morning. I'm sure the president saw it and thought it was pretty funny and said, I'm going to retweet this. It took him 7 seconds. It didn't take him 72 hours or 24 hours or 12
No, I agree
hours.
with you on that. I agree. He's a busy man. He's got a lot to do. He's not just tweeting all day. But what he does for 7 seconds can hurt people. And let me go to David Zerwick on this. The president's acting strong. I think that's what his supporters on Reddit are saying right now. This is a show of strength. I would argue it's an admission of weakness, that campaigning against the media is sort of all he has. It's his fuel.